Hey guys, Mike Wang here, back with another video on stocks. Today I'm going to be talking about an $11 billion investment on Tesla and who might be behind it for what reasons. So stay tuned, especially if you're a Tesla shareholder or thinking of buying Tesla shares, or most importantly, if you have a short position on Tesla. Again, just like the previous video, this is based on the 13F of asset management firms for the third quarter of 2020. If you don't know what a 13F is, go check out my previous video. In Berkshire Hathaway's 13F, it stated that they'd be reporting some of their investments separately. Because Berkshire has a huge asset under management, the reports could potentially affect the market. So, they sometimes buy their shares throughout the entire quarter. Also, comparing Berkshire's 13F and 10Q, we can find inconsistencies. For those of you who don't know, 10Q is essentially a form that's like the 13F, but it includes unaudited financial statements and a review of the company's financial positions. This report is also filed to the SEC. So by comparing these two forms, we can find $11 billion missing. So given that they made an $11 billion investment at one particular firm, it's very likely that their stake exceeds 5%. If a firm buys shares that exceeds 5% in stake, they're legally obliged to fill in forms called 13D and 13G within 10 days. But if the company that they're purchasing has a market cap of over $220 billion, the investor is not legally obliged to report anything. There are a handful of companies, 25 to be exact, that have over $220 billion in market cap, and this list obviously includes Tesla. So the question is, could Berkshire Hathaway have invested $11 billion into one of these companies, and could that company possibly be Tesla? If we look at what Berkshire has done in the past, it makes a bit more sense. In the second quarter of 2015, they were buying shares of an energy company called Phillips 66, and they edited their 13F a few weeks after they bought. In another case, during the first and second quarters of 2011, they intentionally did not reveal their entire stock holdings, and it turned out that Buffett was buying IBM shares throughout a span of 6 months. They ended up buying $10 billion worth of IBM shares. There's a guy who runs a blog that's entirely dedicated to Tesla, and he's been looking into every 13F files of companies that own Tesla shares. And he figured out that there are about 50 million Tesla shares missing. And if we think of the firms that have the capital to actually buy that many shares, we can narrow it down to a handful of candidates, including Berkshire Hathaway. Now you might start thinking, wait a minute, Buffett wouldn't invest in a stock like Tesla. What he said in the past and what he's been buying recently are starting to conflict. Now, me personally, I like to judge people by their actions rather than their words. I know Buffett said that he wouldn't invest in tech stocks, but then he ended up surprising a lot of people by buying Apple shares back in 2016. Recently, he also profited significantly by investing in Snowflake, which is actually a company that offers a cloud-based data platform. And later, it was revealed that this was a decision made by Todd Combs from Berkshire. So given that Berkshire actually did invest in Tesla, I'd say that it's highly likely a decision made by Todd. Before we move on to the next most likely person to have bought all these Tesla shares, please make sure to like and subscribe. I'm extremely grateful for the people who've liked my videos and subscribed to my channel, but if you're new to the channel, help me get those rookie numbers up. So moving on, from another perspective, another highly likely candidate for the mystery Tesla investor is SoftBank. If you take a look at SoftBank's 13F, you'll notice that they actually sold all the Tesla stocks they had during the third quarter. But it actually turns out that Tesla isn't the only public company whose shares they sold. In a Bloomberg article, it was implied that SoftBank did not want their investment holdings to be open to the public. Quote unquote, the investments were made using financial structures that can prevent SoftBank from showing up in public records as a direct shareholder. So it appears that SoftBank created a new entity that does not report to the SEC And they used this to speculate on NASDAQ options and also sold or moved most of its assets, including the Tesla shares they initially had and the ones that they potentially newly bought. Of course, there's no proof behind this, but given SoftBank's investment style, it makes more sense for SoftBank to invest in Tesla than for Berkshire to invest in Tesla. Masayoshi Son has a very different approach to investing in stocks compared to Warren Buffett. Simply put, Buffett likes to buy stocks that are undervalued and sell them at their fairly valued prices. Son takes up more risk by buying stocks that are fairly valued but have extremely high growth potential, and he ultimately sells his stock when they go exponential. Some of his main investments include Yahoo and Alibaba. This man was once asked about his receding hairline, and he responded by saying that it's not that his hairline is receding, but that he's advancing too quickly. What an absolute legend he is. So in summary, we'll probably see a report in the future about either SoftBank or Berkshire having bought a huge portion of Tesla shares, or maybe it could be the case that both companies invested in Tesla. Who knows? Regardless of who's buying, it sure will be good news for Tesla shareholders. So that's it for this video. If you enjoyed watching this, please make sure to drop a like for the YouTube algorithm and also make sure to subscribe for more videos in the future. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.